Okay, everybody, so I wanted to talk about Sophie and her transition into her big girl crib. So anyway, I'm glancing back at her now because she's sleeping in her swing. Okay, so anyway, let's see, around my birthday, which was the 3rd of January, so a little bit before that, we had already been talking about transferring her to her crib because, and I have a list of things, so anyway, the reason why is because she's been sleeping in her travel light, and this picture here that you're looking at, is when she was a lot younger. But anyway, that's in our room, right by me, and it was great, like it worked wonderfully, right? But as she's gotten older and longer, she moves around in her sleep a lot, just naturally, and she would twist herself, and she's too long, and she'd get herself wedged in the corner, and then she would wake up, even though her normal movements don't wake her up. And so anyway, so that started happening a lot every day. Every morning I'd wake up, and there she would be wedged in to the, the corner, her little head stuck in the corner and just looking at me, and I'm like, ugh. And then I know the next logical question would be, and obviously but it was good to have her there because the reason we never put her in her crib to start was, one, since I was nursing, it was a lot easier, and two, we have a big house, a really big house. We're very blessed to have this big house, and I love it, and I'm not complaining, and it's great, right? But it's a little over 2,600 square feet, and our master bedroom's downstairs, and then we've got 3 bedrooms upstairs, plus a game room, plus a really long hallway, and you don't hear her. Her room, our master bedroom, is like downstairs in like one corner of the house, right? And then her bedroom is upstairs, like way over there. We can't hear her. You can't hear her even like screaming, like loudly, from her bedroom in our bedroom. If I was out in the living room or the kitchen, I could hear her if she was being loud. But anyway, it just wasn't gonna work until and we needed to get like a monitor or something, right? So anyway, so that was why she didn't, and then she didn't co-sleep with us because she won't co-sleep at all. A lot of people like talk about, are the baby sleeping in the bed? Is it this, is that? Like, we never planned on her sleeping in the bed, but to be honest with you, after I had her and the way nursing was, I wouldn't have minded. I kind of changed my mind because it would have been really easy. But my baby will not sleep in a bed with you. She just stays awake. Will not do it from a young age, she won't fall asleep. So that was like, literally, it wasn't even a matter of like whether we wanted to co-sleep or not. The choice was made for us by our daughter, who refuses to co-sleep. She wants her own bed, apparently, which is fine. Like, hey, that works out. But anyway, so yeah, so that was why she slept with us. And then the reason, some of the reasons why we want to transition her. So anyway, back to things. She's too big for the crib. Fills it up, right? The travel crib. She'd wedge herself in. She was waking me up constantly. I didn't really wake her up. Like, if I got up to do something, it wouldn't really wake her up. She can sleep through a lot, but she would wake me up all the time. Every little noise she made, every little like thing, I'd wake up. And that's not her fault. But I mean, even though she started sleeping through the night, which is another point I'll get to in a second, I was still waking up a lot. And then the next thing is that she has, from a young age, slept through the night. She slept for a good, anywhere from 7 to 9 hour stretch, and won't wake up to feed. And so all of those things were signaling to us that she needed to be put in her bigger crib. And then, in addition to that, Sophie randomly, like, okay, so before about my birthday that week, she would not go to bed before midnight. Would not do it, no matter what she did. But that was okay because she'd still sleep until like 9 in the morning. Whatever, no big deal. But she would not go to sleep before midnight. It just wouldn't happen. You just knew. Then at midnight, she would crash on her own. Crash, right? Then all of a sudden, we didn't have to, because we were like, okay, we're going to have to start trying to introduce earlier bedtimes. We'll try to make it 15 minutes earlier, Oh, this whole plan. On her own, the little girl just starts going to sleep at 10 now. And she gets angry if you don't let her go to bed. Like, she gets really cranky, and around 9, she starts winding herself down. She rubs her eyes, she gets tired, she gets a little fussy easily, like, she's ready for bed. She's ready to start going to bed. On her own, she did this. So we were like, okay. So we went and we bought a monitor, and we got, it's a Fisher-Price monitor, and it's the like long distance one. So we'd have better reception in our house span. Plus that way I figured in the future I could use it like if I had to, you know, step out into the backyard or something, and, you know, she was asleep upstairs and like I could hear her still. I could take it with me. So anyway, we got that, and it works really well. So we set her up, and I'm going to show you guys the video, but basically our routine is she gets a bath, but not every night, because I was giving her a bath every night and it was drying her skin out. And it didn't matter if I was using like Johnson & Johnson or if I was using Aveeno, it was too much for her skin. So her, like, she was getting like, it was, her skin was like drying out all over her scalp and her forehead, and it wasn't cradle cap, it was actually like dry skin. Like I was just drying her skin out by too many baths. So that's a, hey, that's a side note. If your baby's like just starts getting dry skin and you're bathing them every day, that might be why. Their skin might be too sensitive for that. So anyway, but we give her baths, you know, every other night or so. And then she gets in pajamas, she gets a fresh diaper, and then she gets story time. Usually my husband will read her a story, but like while I'm sitting there. And then she is fed and she falls asleep. And if sometimes she doesn't fall asleep, but like we can still just lay her down in her crib and she's ready for night and she goes to sleep on her own. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's actually becoming like, you know, one of my favorite parts of the day, because it's like predictable. It's predictable, and it's sweet, and she's so cute and whatever. And then in the mornings when I go up, she wakes, you know, she'll wake herself up and I'll hear her on the monitor downstairs. So I get up and I'll go and, you know, come up and get her, and every time when I go to the crib, there she is, just smiling. She's just like so happy to see me. So and the video clip I'm going to show you of that is of the very first night she slept alone in her crib. I've noticed she doesn't move as much in her big crib, and I think it's more comfortable. The bed's softer, and like she does, oh, we do use a blanket with her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you're not supposed to have a blanket in the crib, but Sophie gets really cold, and we keep it hot. We keep the house like really hot. So she just gets cold at night, and she really likes having a blanket on her. Like if you don't put the blanket on her, she doesn't act like it's nighttime. Like she'll disturb herself. I think she likes the comfort of it. But she refuses to be swaddled. Like she likes her hands free, so it's a compromise. And what I do is I tuck the blanket into the side, and she never rips it up. Plus, she's old enough now, if anything gets on her face, she just takes it off. Like she's smart enough and old enough to know how to do that. So before anybody like panics, like, oh no, trust me, with my child, it's fine. And it was something like we talked about, and we were like, she's good, she's cool with a blanket. So anyway, yay, and that's it. And yeah, so I'm really happy. I sleep better. I still, when she makes little noises on the monitor, I'm still waking up just like I did when she was in my bedroom. But it's better, you know. It's getting better. Like I don't wake up quite as much or quite as easily. So I'm getting better sleep too. Because it was kind of a shame that I had a baby who was sleeping through the night, but I was still not maybe getting the best sleep. But anyway, so yeah, so it's good. It's better. And I do love going up in the morning, going upstairs and going into her room. And she's just sitting there talking because she's awake. She's just like blah, blah, blah. And she's happy as can be. She does need like background noise though. So we have one of those little like Fisher-Price things that makes background noises. She does need that. Like that definitely helps her. She can go to sleep without it, but that like keeps her like in that sleep mode, so she'll go into deep sleep. So fan of that. But anyway, so that was it. That was our transition to crib story. So yeah, I'm excited, and it's good. It's been good now, you know. It's been like 2 weeks, and I like it. It's good. So all right.